Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be going over these 4 different mending kits. They came up in my feed recently. Somebody was showing how they worked, I think, and I just thought that they were such a great idea that I'd get one for each of my girls to put in their kind of Christmas stocking this year, because they're all kind of on the verge of leaving home and making their own way through life. And I think they're such a great idea. I can't believe I never knew about them before. You know, it saves having to buy lots of different cotton reels, and it's really handy for kind of travelling with, taken away with, perfect for students that are heading off to university so that they can kind of mend or learn to mend, in the case of my girls, their own clothes. So I just think they're fantastic. But when I went to look and find them, I noticed that they were just like product photos, and it was really hard to kind of see what you get, what the real colours were like. So I decided to buy 4 of the main ones and compare them, just so that you can kind of get a side-by-side kind of view of them, really. See the colours, the lengths and how they work. The key difference between them all is to do with the length of the thread and how many colours you get in each package. So hemline here is 100 centimetres long, the threads, and has 18 colours, and it costs £5.19. Millwood also has 100 centimetres long threads in it, but only has 16 colours, and it costs £4.90. The Prim threads are 60 centimetres long, and there are 33 colours. I think there are 7 threads per colour, and this cost £5.24. And then finally Gutermann has 50 centimetre length threads with 24 colours and 8 strands. The other thing they all have, I know I didn't mention the strands here, but Hemline and Millwood didn't mention the strands. I'm just going to turn them over. No, this says so they're polyester in the Millwood kit, but that's all it says. The hemline says there are 250 strands in 18 colours, so it doesn't say 100% colour fast polyester as well. And I suspect, are these the same? No, it doesn't say anything about what they're made from on that one or here. Oh no, that does, it says 100% polyester, so I suspect they're all polyester. And inside they all contain a needle and a needle threader as well, so it's a really nice self-contained kit. So let's open them and so we can have a good look. So we've got a typical needle threader. I actually really like these. I find them super easy to use, but they do tend to break if you're not careful with them. So you've got the needle in here, and then you've got this, oh, it's like a tie. You've got the end here, this is where you pull them. It's super soft, so I'm going to take this little needle out and just put that at the top there. Actually, we'll just show you, shall we? So that's the needle. I think the Millwood and the hemline are very similar colours. Let's get this one open. These are always such a nightmare. Again, the same needle threader with the dude's head on. Pretty much the same size as well. Let me just show you that. So same size. And there's the needle. So the needles, actually, I didn't notice that. I can see it off camera. They have a gold head. And then, so this is also a metre in length. Super soft. You've got kind of like a mix of colours. You've got lots of brights. There's a lack of yellow and not very many greens in this, so lots of kind of whites and very pale colours. So what was in this one? I think this was, yeah, so 16 colours, so it's slightly less colours in this one, but they're very similar. And then you've also now got these, the Prim and the Gutermann, which are half the size, so, you know, almost. This is 60 centimetres and the Gutermann is 50. And then, so we'll open the prim. Okay, so this has got very different colours in it. So again, the same needle threader, and then a gold-headed. Is this gold-headed now? Oh no, this doesn't look like it is. So this isn't gold-headed. This is just, or gold-eyed, should I say. We've got much brighter colours in here. Bright blues, yellows, reds, oranges, less, no fluorescence. I'll put them side by side next to each other in a minute, but at least you can kind of see the colours. Got some pastels, darks. So I feel that this is a nicer variety of colours. How many were in here? There were quite a few. Have I pulled it off, haven't I? Come on, let's have a look. There are 33 colours in this one. And then finally the Gutermann, which has got 33 colours, 24 colours. Okay, and this should hopefully have the same. Make sure there's nothing left inside. So does this come? So we've got a needle here, very fine. Spot has come to say hello today. So I'll put that there. This is the smallest, finest needle, I think, in the Gutermann. I've just dropped my camera. Okay, is there a needle threader? Oh, so I think not. I don't think. I'm going to look inside the plastic in case it got stuck in there. But these are the colours that you get in here. Okay, so we'll just put that down there, and let me just double check that there's nothing. No, nothing in here. So no needle threader with the Gutermann. Okay, so I've stuck all the needles in order on the some washi tape, just to give you an idea. So we've got hemline and millwood were the ones that have kind of like a gold eye, and then the prim and the Gutermann are just kind of like plain silver colour. The smallest needle comes with, and with the smallest eye, comes from Gutermann, and that doesn't have a needle threader with it. So you have to learn to thread the thread through that teeny tiny eye. And then these two are about the same. So the hemline, no, prim and millwood are the same length needle. And then you've got kind of like the one in between them both is, what was this one? Is this hemline? Yeah, so millwood and prim, the same needle. Millwood, slightly smaller, and the teeniest of all, Gutermann. And then these are the three needles. So the prim one is the biggest. They have the same kind of metal size, you know, the threader on the ends about the same size. But the sort of thin foily metal bit that you hold is a slightly bigger one in the prim. Oh, I've put them over a box just to kind of, probably should, let me turn it over actually. No, it's not. I was going to say that, oh, that side view, there we go. That shows the colours a bit better, doesn't it? So definitely hemline and millwood are very similar. So they're the same length. They just have, I think, isn't it? The hemline has got 18 colours and millwood has got 16. So there's very little difference between them at all. I'd like to know what the colours, the two colours that are missing are. Then you've got prims, there's only 50 centimetres, but you've got a lot more colour. And also Gutermann, but not as bright, but you do have like a mix of pastels. There's a lack of blues, isn't there? Blues and purples. in the Gutermann. I mean, me personally, but that's just because I have lots of different bright colours, and I think that's the thing that you kind of have to take into account is like, what are you most likely to sew? If it's kind of shirts and suits, then this is probably a really good one because it's got lots of different pale colours in it. Well, there's pale colours in here and dark as well. I don't know, which ones do you think are? Me personally, I think the Prim is the better one. And you've also got the difference in the length. I'm going to pull off a thread off each one just to have a look. So you've got two that are 100 centimetres and two that are 50 centimetres. Personally, I think the 50 centimetre one is better, certainly for beginners, so that they're not trying to sew with too long a thread and getting it all knotty and tangled. It's much easier to kind of like start and stop than to have a huge big thread, although I suppose you could kind of double thread this. It's to do with, I suppose, personal taste and how good your skills are. So let's have a go of pulling. So I've removed the back. So this is hemline, which is very similar to Millwood. I'm going to take a pink out of this one. So you basically select your thread and pull. And it's going to bunch a little bit, so that's not a problem. And you just pull. It's a bit like pulling stranded cotton. That's the big harder bit as well, actually, I think, because this is a metre in length. You're going to have to keep concertinaing it to get it out and keep one end. So I think getting the thread, keep pulling, squeezing it up, pulling it through. There we go, it's out. So we have 1 metre long thread. Millwood will do a blue because it's on the corner of bluey grey, right? So again, just grab, and because it's a metre long, you're going to have to work your way constantly through it, squeezing it up and bunching it, and then pulling it through to the end. But it does move. Don't pull too tightly, just keep moving it. I can feel it now, it's there. There we go. And there's the thread that's come out, so that was easy to get out. And finally, we've got my preferred one. Let's move all the threads out the way. So we'll go with a red here. So this theoretically should be easier and quicker to pull. Yep. Straight out in one go. Okay, that was super easy. Okay, and it will be the same with the Gutermann. Let's do a black thread here. Just grab that and give that just a pull straight out. What is interesting is that these three feel super soft, and the Gutermann has a little bit of texture and stiffness to it. I don't know, I think it might be because it's got it, there's less of it maybe, I don't know. So value for money, I think for me and for ease of use, this Prim one is the better one, personally speaking. It's easier to pull the threads out. It's got a much nicer variety of colours. It comes with the larger needle threader and quite a nice sized, you know, big size needles, and that's going to get through a lot of stuff. I mean, I think the Gutermann is actually, which is the most expensive, that was £6.39. So you've got less thread, got a kind of quite a nice selection of colours, but no needle threader, and the finest of needles. So that's going to be really difficult for somebody who doesn't have much sewing experience to thread. I'm thinking here of like young adults or people that haven't really sewn, you know, so they don't have much sewing products at home. So yeah, the Millwood one, which is the slightly, oh, it was the other way around, wasn't it? So this one, no, Millwood has got 16 threads in, and Hemline has got 18, you know, they're the same colours, so I don't think there's much in these, but they are a lot harder to pull through. They come out easily enough, but you just got such a long length of thread, so it depends really what you want, I think. But for me personally, I think the Prim one is better value, priced at £5.25, so it's a little bit more expensive than the hemline and the Millwood, cheaper than the Gutenberg, and I think you get a much nicer selection of colours. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.